Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday, the 7th of April 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Radiant Rider-Waite deck for this reading. Let's see what the cards want you to know about Wednesday. We've got the Sun in reverse, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and finally the Knight of Swords. Okay. So the Sun is a card that represents happiness, strength, a sense of fun, joy, being really unburdened. You've got your inner child there riding a white horse. So it's innocence, there's no negativity involved, and you really have the opportunity to let loose, to have fun, to make yourself vulnerable, and not really to worry about negative influences that may harm you. The card is in reverse, so you may feel like there are things going on that may make you want to react, that kind of dampen your happiness a little bit, that mean you have to use your experience and your expertise to deal with certain things. So you may receive news that are difficult or that aren't the best in the world, and you may feel like you have to work to get through those difficulties. We've got this red piece of cloth there. So red is about fire, passion, masculinity, and being able to take charge of your circumstances. So even if things are less than ideal, and I mean really in life, when are things 100% ideal? Not very often. You really have the capacity to manage those things, to get through them, and not to feel like you're a babe in the woods, a deer in the headlights, that you have no idea of what is going on. You've been here before, you've got the experience, you've been there, done that. So anything that comes up today, really engage with it and try and manage it as best you can. You will get through it. You do have the strength to overcome obstacles. And if anything, this will be proof that you can deal with things as they come up. One, because you've done it before. And second of all, because you have grown on your journey and you've got better at dealing with things. So what you can do is you can sort the circumstances that require your attention, and you're able to maintain this sense of happiness and even a sense of being carefree, because issues that at other times in your life would have been huge and would have felt impossible to deal with, you're able to take in your stride and you're able to manage those very well. Next, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. I love this card. She is a woman who represents the fact that hard work and discipline really, really pay off. And if you set goals and if you consistently work towards achieving those goals, you'll get yourself in a position of wealth and ease and power and abundance and having more than enough. We've got this little snail here at the bottom. Do you see that? And that means that the progress is gradual. If you start a job, you don't become, the head of the company overnight. You work in a particular field until you build skills, you get paid a little bit more, you get a promotion, you get more responsibility, you show that you're good at your work, you win other people over, all of those kind of things. And you get yourself to a position of independence where these grapes on the vine here and the castle and the trees in the background, you're really able to work towards creating the kind of life that you want and filling it with things that soothe you and that nurture you and that give you a sense that all of the hard work is paid off. So that card is in reverse. So you may feel, again, like no matter how hard you work, that you don't get what you want. So there's a sense of unfairness that could make you less than happy, and that you try really hard and the world seems to be against you in a certain way. That is really disempowering often if you put yourself in that position of me versus everybody else. And that obviously will chip away at your sense of happiness. But again, not every day is going to be the most productive day ever. And just because you're working very hard and not everybody recognizes it, or you don't get an immediate paycheck that's bigger than the one you've got right now, it doesn't mean that you're on the wrong path. It means that you're doing what you can, and that patience is a virtue on this day, and that it's important not to look at outcomes that are less than ideal as reflections on you, as reflections on your character and on your skill level. Sometimes things just don't go perfectly. And today it's really important to manage your expectations about that. And ultimately, you're a winner here on this day by looking at these two cards. If you're able to maintain a sense of integrity, self-belief, and happiness despite anything going on in your life. The Knight of Swords is a card that shows a young knight kind of galloping off into battle. The horse is terrified because he's chasing it. He seems to be kind of excited. He doesn't really know what he's getting himself into. It's the first battle he's taking part in. And the winds are blowing against him. You can see these poor trees in the background. They're kind of weather beaten here, and they're swaying in this direction. So there's something that's coming against him, or something that feels like a wind blowing your way that isn't particularly welcome. So this could be the opinions of other people. It could be unwelcome news. It could be outcomes that aren't fair. So you've worked 18 hours and no one even recognizes that or praises you, or you're not seen for your achievements. And in this case, what the knight does, rather than say, okay, there's a cold breeze blowing my way, let me take shelter, he reacts. He says, I'm not tolerating this. I'm free, I can do what I want, and I like a challenge. I'm going to rise to the occasion, and I'm going to gallop in, and I'm going to get rid of these circumstances so that I feel right, I feel empowered. And again, the knight is in the middle of the court card. So we've got the page, who pretty much has no clue what he's doing. Then the knight sometimes gets it right, sometimes he doesn't get it right. And then we've got the king. And the King of Swords is someone who does make good decisions. He knows when to act, when not to act, when he should be right and when it's okay to let things pass him by. The knight is reactive. He's overly reactive. And the suit of swords has to do with ideas and communication and perspective. So the couple of things to bear in mind with him. If something is happening that's outside of your control, ask yourself, is it really going to work in your favor by digging your heels in, or in this case, jumping on your horse and attacking and saying, I'm going to resist this? Look at the wind that's actually blowing, look at the communication that's coming your way, the circumstances that are going on, and really ask yourself, do I need to react to this or not? Is it going to serve me? Because with him riding in by himself into an army that's over there maybe, he's not going to last very long. So the important thing is to say, actually, is this going to benefit me in the long run? So try and play the tape forward a little bit and say, is this going to have a good outcome for me or not? What is the likelihood? And if your own gut and your own experience and intuition say that it may be time to lay low a bit, then listen to that and save yourself the trouble. And then on the other hand, well, not on the other hand, an extension of that is that he can react verbally as well. So something doesn't please him, so the boss doesn't recognize his achievement or makes him unhappy. So he says, do you know what? I've never liked this job. I don't feel appreciated. And he goes on a rampage, which again does not serve him and potentially means that he doesn't have any job at the end of the day. His perspective is also somewhat slanted. He is, in this case, I'm feeling somewhat insecure because if he feels like things are being said about him or things are coming into his life that he doesn't like, he doesn't go with acceptance. He immediately goes into battle mode and he says, I need to speak up and I need to rip someone a new one to make sure that they take me seriously, that they respect me, that I don't feel like I'm being taken advantage of. If the Knight of Swords was secure in himself, if he was the King of Swords, he wouldn't be bothered and he wouldn't care if other people say bad things about him or if his achievements aren't recognized or if someone makes him unhappy, because he's certain in himself. He doesn't need to prove himself, and it gives him a freedom from all of that. The Knight of Swords is not free. He feels like he has to make sure he manages other people's perception of him. So riding into battle, even when there's no chance of winning, people will think I'm brave. All of that, you can hear the way I'm speaking about this. It doesn't make sense. So today, if it doesn't make sense, don't do it. And if you're fighting a losing battle or if you're really up against it, then ask yourself, how can I be happy on this day rather than prove myself or make sure that I'm right or fight everyone who's not in my corner. The best thing to do is to maintain the sense of happiness. That's really what you have control over today. You don't have control over what's going on in your working life, and you don't have control over what other people are saying or the news that are coming your way. So make friends with yourself. Put that power that the knight is using to take down other people, instead redirect that and use the power to make yourself happy on this day and to control what you can. Don't waste your energy and do your best in the sense of real world things. Try not to let it rip verbally and to say, do you know what, I'm going to change this person's viewpoint by letting them really have it and by being really honest. It doesn't really, the outcome isn't guaranteed, and it's unlikely that by saying a couple of sentences that you're going to change someone else's whole worldview. So you might as well save your breath when it comes to that. So this is a challenging energy, but again, these kind of days really are the ones that help us grow and that show us that we're much more resilient than our circumstances or the people in our lives or the things that are working against us, and that we do have the ability to be happy and to exist in our own little worlds, and that those are really untouchable and beyond the reach of the world and the things that the world can throw at us. So number-wise, we've got the Knight, that counts as 1, and we've got the 9, that's 1 and 9 is 10, and then we've got 19, the Sun. Oh, hang on, let me just double check. Yes, it is 19. So 19 and 10 is 29, 2 and 9 is 11, and 11 is the master number of service, and we've had that a lot recently. So first and foremost, especially on this day, be of service to yourself and have positive self-talk. Getting through things for yourself builds your own self-esteem, and also other people around you watching you overcome difficulties and managing. It inspires them that they can do the same, because most people's lives aren't perfect, and if they see you getting over things that are difficult, it can often be an indirect inspiration for them to overcome their own difficulties. And then because it is 11, rather than just listening to news and to be someone who is kind of dealing with the things that are thrown at them, ask yourself, what kind of positive self-talk makes you happy, and what kind of belief systems actually support you in getting through things that are challenging. And what you can do, if you're feeling generous and if you have the presence of mind to include other people in your journey today. For a lot of people, it will be enough just to manage their own lives and to get on with things. But for some people, it will be quite easy to manage difficult circumstances because you've been there before, you've done it before. If you want to share how you do that with other people, remember the Knight is swords, air, communication. You're actually able to share information with other people that will help them on their journey. So you could take all of this energy and totally transform it by becoming a teacher in a way and sharing your skills and your insights with other people who haven't quite got there yet. So you can really directly or indirectly support and inspire others. So that's a really interesting energy, and it really does bring a lot of personal growth. I hope you have a great day on this day. In the comments, let me know how you overcome difficulties, how you find the day, whether the challenges are really easy or whether you find them quite difficult. Let us know, because again, on this channel, we're all learning from each other. And I think sharing the experience on this day in particular will be really, really useful to a lot of people. So have a good day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to order your reading with me. In the personal readings, I use the tarot cards, I use numerology and astrology. I combine all three. And to draw up your birth chart, I only need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. So that then allows me to draw up a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, and it shows me what you're about, what your strengths and weaknesses are, and I can answer any questions that you may have. So if you are interested in that, if you have some decisions to make, if you want to know what's coming up in future, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. And thank you to all the people who've mentioned that they do like my videos. I really, really appreciate that. Hit subscribe to join us on this channel and share the video online. If you're feeling brave and if, you know, the roof isn't going to collapse because you've shared a video on the tarot, then that would be awesome. It would really support the channel. Obviously, if that's a big problem for you in your life, then don't cause extra problems by sharing one of my videos. But if you can, if you're free to do that, then that would be awesome. Have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.